The coffee in my hands was cold. I had been standing by the kitchen window for an hour, watching the sun come up over the fields. My name is Thomas. I am 58 years old. I have lived on this small farm all my life. My wife Elena passed away when our boy Oliver was just 4. She got sick very fast. One week she was laughing in the garden. The next week she was gone. After that, it was just me and Oliver. 2 people in a big, quiet house. I was not ready to be a single father. I did not know how to cook. I did not know how to clean. I did not know how to make a small boy feel safe when the world had already taken his mother. But I learned. I burned the rice. I ruined the laundry. I cried in the bathroom when Oliver was asleep. And then I woke up the next morning and tried again. I took extra work in town. I fixed fences. I repaired roofs. I harvested crops for other farmers. My hands were rough and my back ached every night. But I did not care. The money was for Oliver. New shoes for school. A warm coat in winter. Books he wanted to read. I bought nothing for myself. Not once in 20 years. Oliver grew up tall and strong. He had his mother's eyes, warm and brown. He became a good man, quiet, honest, hardworking. When I looked at him, I saw everything I had lived for. I believed we would always be close. I thought nothing could break that. Then he met Claire. She came to our town for a summer music festival. Oliver was there with friends. They started talking. She was from the city. She worked for a big company. She dressed well and spoke with confidence. Oliver told me about her one evening. His face was different, brighter, excited. I was happy for him. At first, Claire was friendly. She visited the farm a few times. She said the countryside was peaceful. She said my cooking was lovely, but I noticed small things. She looked at her phone too much. She never stayed long. And once, when she thought I was not listening, she told Oliver the house was too small and too old. Oliver began to change, slowly like a season turning. He bought new clothes, expensive ones. He started using words he never used before. He stopped coming for Sunday lunch. First, he said he was busy. Then he said he was tired. Then he stopped calling at all. I called him one night. Oliver, I miss you. Can we talk? There was a long silence. Then he said, Dad, you don't understand my life now. I need space. Space from what? I asked. From this, from the farm, from everything feeling small. His words hit me like a stone. Small. My life was small to him. Everything I had built, every hour I had worked, every sacrifice I had made, he called small. I did not argue. I said goodnight and put the phone down. I sat in the dark kitchen for a long time. Months passed. The house was quiet. Too quiet. I ate alone. I worked alone. I slept alone. Sometimes I heard his laugh in my dreams and woke up reaching for nothing. One autumn morning, I drove to the city. I needed to see him. I found the apartment building. It was tall and modern, nothing like our home. I stood at the door and knocked. Claire opened it. She looked at me without smiling. Hello, Claire. Is Oliver here? She leaned against the door frame. Thomas, Oliver doesn't want visitors right now. I'm not a visitor. I'm his father. She looked at me for a moment. He needs to focus on his new life. You should respect that. I stood there. I waited for Oliver's voice from inside. I waited for him to come to the door. But the apartment was silent. He was there. I knew he was there. And he said nothing. I drove home in the rain. I did not cry. I was too empty for tears. Winter came. The fields were bare. The days were short. I went through the motions of living, but my heart was somewhere else. I checked my phone every morning. Nothing. I walked past his old bedroom every evening. The door was closed. The bed was made. Everything was exactly as he had left it. Then, one cold February evening, there was a knock on my door. I opened it. It was Oliver's best friend, Jake. He stood in the cold with his hands in his pockets. He looked uncomfortable. Thomas, I need to tell you something, Jake said. Claire has been seeing someone else. For months. It's someone from her office. Oliver found out last week. I gripped the door handle. Where is he now? I don't know. He left the apartment. He's not answering his phone. I thought you should know. I thanked Jake and closed the door. I wanted to drive to the city and search every street, but the rain was heavy and the roads were dark, And I was afraid, what if he did not want to see me? What if he turned me away again? I sat by the window all night. The rain did not stop. In the morning, the sky was gray and cold. I was making coffee when I heard a car outside. I looked through the window. A taxi. The door opened. Oliver stepped out. He looked thin. His eyes were red. His jacket was too light for the weather. He walked slowly to the front door and stood there. He did not knock. He just stood there with his head down. I opened the door. He looked up at me. His face broke. "Dad," he said. His voice was small, like a child's voice. He fell into my arms. He was shaking. I held him. I held him the way I held him when he was 4 years old and his mother had just died. I held him and said nothing, because sometimes words are not enough. We stood in the doorway for a long time. Then I brought him inside. I made soup. I put a blanket over his shoulders. He sat at the kitchen table and cried quietly while I cooked. People sometimes ask me if I was angry. They ask how I could welcome him back so easily after he pushed me away. I don't know how to explain it to them. When your child is hurting, you don't think about the past. You don't count the wounds. You just hold them. Oliver is home now. He works in town. He comes back to the farm every evening. On Sundays, we eat lunch together. The house is not quiet anymore. My coffee is warm again. And when I stand by the kitchen window in the morning, I don't feel empty. Love doesn't keep score. It doesn't hold grudges. It just waits. And when the door opens, it is still there, ready, warm, home.